I'm back. Most of you probably didn't even know I was gone, but when you've worked for AARP for as long as I have, you're granted a great benefit called renewal, which is essentially an extended vacation. And I took mine this summer. It was a great chance for me to spend some time with my kids and my family, do some house projects that have been needing some attention, as well as continue to do the things I love, ride my bike, swim, run, and spend time relaxing and rejuvenating. And I have come back excited to get rolling through the rest of this year. But just because I was out renewing doesn't mean our team was at rest. They were super busy. And so let's talk a little bit about some highlights from this summer. We took a little bit of a different approach this year to our work, and we were doing a bunch of tabling events where we were at fairs, festivals. Here you can see our fraud table at one of the events in Fargo, where people were trying not to get fished by fraud and winning a prize. We were also talking about livable communities and Social Security this summer at a number of different events. It was a great way to interact with people and have some fun. We had great volunteers running these tables along with our staff. In addition to that, we held a block party here in Bismarck where we brought neighbors together in a local neighborhood as well as the rest of the community to show how you can activate public spaces, public parks, and streets to have discussions with your neighbors about how can this community, in this instance, the city of Bismarck, really help make aging easier for folks. It was the only work event I attended while I was on my renewal, and I had a blast. My kids loved the snow cones, as did we all, and a great chance to talk and interact as well. I want to give a big shout out to our friends in the AARP Minnesota office, because in August, we did a bi-state event where we did a Social Security thought forum, and we had our friends from the Minnesota office, our state office, as well as some experts from local institutions who are talking about the demographics of our two states and the impact that Social Security has in these communities. And then some leading experts from the right and the left talking about potential bipartisan solutions for Social Security. There's going to be more to come on this. We know you're concerned, and AARP is concerned that if Congress doesn't act in the next 10 years, Social Security is facing about a 20% benefit cut. That means about $4,000 a year for the average beneficiary. AARP is trying to start the conversation to find a bipartisan solution to ensure that you don't lose the hard-earned benefits that you've earned through a lifetime of work. More to come on that, but it was a great event. We also did a decades dinner where we had folks from different generations at tables having discussions about why Social Security is so important to North Dakotans, Minnesotans, and their families. With that, I'm going to turn the page and look forward a little bit. If you haven't figured it out, it's an election year, and election day is November 5th. AARP is working hard to talk about why elections are important and what issues matter to the largest voting bloc in our state, which is voters 50 and older. We know in the last two elections, voters age 50 and older have made up at least 50%, in some instances 60% of the electorate of those who go cast their ballots on election day. And candidates should be talking about the issues that matter to those older voters. Issues like Social Security and Medicare, protecting it, the rising costs of prescription drugs and how they're going to address that, and how they can help you live independently as you continue to age. These are all things you have told us as we've asked you about what's on your mind and what you want candidates to talk about. We're doing a couple of things to get candidates to talk about it. The first is we're again partnering with our friends over at Prairie Public to hold 3 debates. The first is on September 26th, the U.S. House candidates. The next is on October 2nd, the U.S. Senate candidates. And then on October 10th, the gubernatorial candidates. They're going to be asked questions about the things impacting older adults and our state in general. We encourage you to tune in on TV or radio or online. Don't fret if you're watching this afterwards. You can go back and find it online, either on their YouTube page or on AARP's YouTube page as well, or at aarp.org/ND. In addition, we want to make sure you know who's on the ballot, when you should go vote, what's on the ballot, and what you need to cast your ballot. And so we have a one-stop shop, aarp.org/ND votes, where you can find out all of those items. What are you going to need to vote? What types of ID are acceptable? What aren't? What candidates are on the ballot? There's also a link to the AARP North Dakota Candidate Guide, where we went out and asked those candidates how they're going to address those issues that matter to you. And you can read what they said and then make the decision that you feel is best for you and your family before you go cast your ballot. So check out aarp.org/ND votes. In addition to it being an election year, that doesn't mean we quit our other work. Quite the contrary. We have a number of events and things going on yet this year. I want to highlight a couple of them. The first is on November 13th in Fargo and then November 14th in Bismarck. We're going to celebrate the work that you, our volunteers, and things that happen in our communities over the course of this year, and how AARP is having an impact in North Dakota with you, through you, and the work that our staff team has helped facilitate as well. So sign up, come join us for a great fun-filled evening of talking about that. In addition, we know fraudsters never quit, and so we never quit our efforts to ensure we share the latest and greatest. We've got Amy Knopfziger from the AARP Fraud Watch Network to join us for a live telephone town hall where you'll have a chance to hear about what is happening in North Dakota and around the country, and also ask Amy your questions about things you're seeing and hearing and what you can do to keep you and your family safe from those scammers and keep that hard-earned money in your pocket. And last but not least, as you can see on the screen, that is not a typo. That does say January, and it says January 20th, because starting in January, the North Dakota legislature will be back in session. AARP already has its day at the Capitol scheduled for Monday, January 20th. We look forward to hosting you in Bismarck that day, where you can talk to legislators about what's on your mind and help us fight for our legislative agenda and the issues that matter to you and your families. You can find all of these events and the other events at aarp.org/ND events. If you can't tell by how fast I'm talking or my energy, I'm excited to be back. I'm looking forward to the next 3 months and wrapping up the rest of 2024. I want to give a huge shout out to my team. They really picked up a lot of slack while I had a chance to get renewed and refreshed. And I also want to shout out to one of my colleagues, Brittany Kitt. Brittany works in the AARP DC office normally, and she came out and served as the interim state director while I was on renewal and did a fabulous job. Those of you who got to meet her and interact with her know how great she was, and our team loved having her here as well. So with that, excited to see you soon.